So looking at some examples of frame treatment approach, there can be more than meets the eye. There are many studios around the world designed just like this, where it's a couple of inches and then a fabric track system put over that. The space looks like a studio. Your high frequency reflections are gone. But I think most studio designers would say it's maybe not so much a good idea to do this. But at the end of the day, this room is entirely covered in fabric. You can't really tell what's going on behind it. This next example here looks almost exactly the same. We have a little slightly thicker clouds. This kind of cross-sectional view, we can see that there's more treatment there. But if you were to just walk into that room, you're most likely not really going to see any difference. The walls are still just going to look like fabric. And here's just another example. Now we have a different room shape, something a lot more complex. We can factor in other things like the isolation and the room geometry and even thicker treatment, and that's really not generally possible with the other approaches. Here's an example from Gravy Acoustics, having these more complex features. Now, just looking at this picture, we see a lot of different angled structures and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it is quite difficult to see what's going on. So kind of going back to that more than meets the eye, or it could be something very complex. It's kind of hard to tell with a frame treatment design, and it really comes down to what you're after, who you're working with, as well as what you're able to spend. So a frame design can vary quite a bit.